Hello, and welcome to my 307 Cent podcast. I will be doing my podcast on the Rugby Football Union, and the aims of the podcast are shown on the screen. The RFU is England Rugby Union's governing body, whose purpose is to encourage rugby, its values, and to flourish across England. It deals with rugby from grassroots level to the elite level. The RFU is neither a business nor charity, but was established under the Cooperation and Community Benefit Societies Act 2014. It likes to be seen as a friendly society. It is owned by members' clubs and aims to make profits to reinvest in England rugby at all levels. They have a variety of income channels, for example sponsorship, the government. They receive 12.6 million from Sport England, ticket sales for international matches at Twickenham, merchandising and licensing, hospitality and catering, a travel company and TV rights. The RFU have been hit with many problems and scandals in the past couple of years. For example, Manu Tuilagi assaulted a police officer in Leicester city centre. Danny Cipriani was arrested and charged for common assault in Jersey and also charged for drink driving. Also, the players were reprimanded for poor behaviour off the pitch, and their performance on the pitch wasn't as predicted at the Rugby World Cup in 2011. These scandals damaged the RFU reputation, and therefore it is important to manage the performance at an elite level, as the elite level is used as a global platform to showcase England rugby. Organisational structure is important for organisations to have, as it makes clear where the responsibilities for every activity lie and shows a clear path of communication. The top management of the RFU is shown on the right-hand side of the screen now. The RFU has a patron, Prince Henry of Wales, president, chairman, executive directors, board of directors, and an RFU council, whom of which are nationwide. The RFU also have around 570 paid permanent staff who work on the different areas displayed on the screen. These areas will have department managers, middle management, supervisors, supervisory management, and workers. You can see a visual representation of this now. On mega event days, they employ between 2,000 and 3,000 extra staff and have been accredited a Silver Investment People Award. Therefore, the RFU is seen as an organisation who put people first. This is good for staff retention and when recruiting volunteers. There are three elements to structure: formalisation, centralisation, and complexity. Formalisation is where the company will have rules and regulations and policies to follow, including documentation such as a job description. A company that is highly formalised will have lots of rules and regulations to follow, which means employees have less control. However, formalisation can differ between organisations and even between departments. The RFU has a highly formalised structure, as the RFU has a number of rules and procedures to follow to correctly align itself with the government. For example, gender equality and equal pay. In the HR department, it would be crucial for the department to have a very high formalised structure, as the recruitment process has loads of different procedures to follow. Fortunately, formalisation can change from each department. This is beneficial for the rugby development department, as they would not benefit from a formalised structure, as it would limit their innovation. Centralisation refers to where the decisions are made. In a highly centralised organisation, all of the decisions will be made by the CEOs or board of directors, the top level management. This can limit the amount of power the employees and some of the management have. On the other hand, an organisation can have a decentralised structure. This is when decisions are filtered down to the management level and is common in large organisations. The board of directors have a big role. According to the Australian Sports Commission in 2005, board of directors in sports organisations should exhibit the following roles: develop, formulate and monitor strategies, formulate policies. The RFU will liaise with the government, Sport England and UK Sport to do this. Enhance the sport organisation's image, report to members and stakeholders, ensure the organisation complies with legislation, manage financial services and develop risk management plan. The RFU have a relatively centralised structure, as the board of directors and the RFU council will make the decisions in terms of the 4-year strategic plan and the policies created. Just recently, more responsibility has been shared out between the board and the council. However, despite this, the different departments there and their managers will make decisions regarding their day-to-day duties. Complexity enables an organisation to see the activities carried out and how they are all differentiated. Differentiation can be either horizontal, which can be specialised through the function or social, or departmentalised through the product and service or the function. Vertical differentiation, they can be flat or tall, and the span of control can be wide or narrow. And spatial differentiation, which refers to geographical location. The RFU would have a horizontal departmentalisation, as they split their structure up into different departments. For example, they have a HR, admin, and marketing departments. This avoids resources being wasted through people doing the same job. With a clear visual structure, employees can see who is responsible and communicate with the relevant individual or department. It is imperative for managers to be clear when communicating so everyone knows the strategic priorities of the RFU and are working towards them. Culture is related to good HRM, human resource management, as making a good environment with a culture embedded generates a positive environment for employees to work in. This can therefore increase motivation and productivity. There has been little research into culture in sport organisations. However, Shine in 1985 defines organisational culture as a pattern of shared basic assumptions that the group learned as it solved its problems of external adaptation and internal integration that has worked well enough to be considered valid and therefore to be taught to new members as the correct way to perceive, think and feel in relation to those problems. Maitland, Hills and Ryan suggest that this implies that culture is something an organisation has and therefore can be manipulated. Culture is very important to the RFU, as when the game first began it stood for the gentleman qualities. Therefore, it is important for all employees to follow these cultural guidelines to ensure they maintain the club's values. These cultures are teamwork, respect, enjoyment, discipline and sportsmanship. The RFU are a well-established organisation with culture well embedded. They are looking at developing a more innovative culture for the organisation to aid achieving their objectives. Managers may require to make changes due to the development of society or development of the sport. Shine states that culture in an organisation can be invented, developed or discovered. Most sporting organisations tend to have developed culture, and the RFU is no different. Williams, as cited by McGuigan, say that there are 4 manifestations of culture. Stories, like when England won the World Cup in 2003, myths, symbols, like the RFU Red Rose logo on the jerseys, and rituals. For every home match, listening to the national anthem. Other manifestations from Trice and Bayer are physical premises, such as the Twickenham Stadium, language, like their slogans, legends, artefacts, and ceremonies. The RFU has a thick characteristic of culture. This is where the staff and players fit the mould and adhere to the culture of the organisation. If someone does not follow the culture, it would be more likely that the RFU would get rid of the individual, as the cultures and traditions are incredibly important to the RFU, as highlighted by former President John Spencer in the 2017 annual report. He states that these cultures are what attracted people to the sport and the organisation. However, there have been evidence that this is not follow suit for all the organisation. Professional players have not followed these guidelines, yet exceptions have been made. Chris Ashton has been included and benched on the Autumn International Tour, even though he was banned at the start of the 2018-2019 season for poor behaviour. This does not show sportsmanship on the field, respect for the other players, or most importantly, discipline. Managers may have to look at the performance of the individual and question whether the player is worth having on the team. They do not follow the same culture or beliefs. The recommendations I would make to managers to ensure optimal performance would be remove the people who do not fit the culture, focusing on the players. They should remove players who do not respect the cultures, irrespective of their performance, as this could reduce conflict. This would mirror the thick characteristic element the RFU follow. This would allow for development of new international stars, thus encouraging more people to play rugby and meeting one of their objectives. This has proven effective in other sports. For example, in MotoGP in the Moto2 class, Romano Fenati was removed from his team for poor and dangerous behaviour during a race. Since this has happened, they have not had any issues, thus highlighting the positive impact of removing someone who does not respect the culture and exhibits distasteful behaviour. The RFU are conducting more meetings off-site at other clubs in order to keep in touch with the issues at grassroots level. Clear communication is empirical. The board of directors and council now change every 9 years, and the chair and president also constantly change. This means managers need to communicate with these people to ensure everyone in the RFU are on the same page and working together. For this, I recommend regular meetings between managers and the top level management, and also between employees, and also between the players and the coaches. This would encourage good communication and develop a cohesive team unit. Otherwise, problems and conflict could arise. Thank you very much for listening.